Alright, Cupcakes, welcome back to the channel. And today we're going to do a new comic book day review along with a birthday haul because my birthday was on Monday. And yeah, I know I've not been consistently making videos last couple of weeks. The reason for that is because I had a couple of family visiting over, and then the weather in Toronto was really bad. So we had a couple of snowy days, so I couldn't go to the store. But now I'm consistent, now I'm back. And let's get on with the video because the Yauja compels you. The Yauja. Predator Badlands was such a cool movie. You all have to go and check it out. But also check out this video, like, share, and subscribe and comment. And I'll see you soon. Alright guys, let's start with DC Comics as usual. I have a lot of books I need to show you because I'm going to do the birthday haul too. So the collected editions will be at the end of the video, and we'll start with the singles. So singles, again, these are last 3 weeks of comics which I got. So yeah, so bear with me. I'll try to speed run through some of these because I don't want to waste too much time. But we start with Absolute Batman, the first annual. So this came I think 2 weeks ago. I read this digitally because I couldn't wait to get my hands on it. But this is by Daniel Warren Johnson, James Herron. So Daniel Warren Johnson, you all know, from Do a Powerbomb, from Murder Falcon, from his Transformers run. But James Herron is the guy who did Ultra Mega, and he's a pretty good artist too, right? So they're both like, they can do writing, they do the art by themselves, they basically do the whole thing by themselves. This is really cool because the first story is about like Batman taking on some racist people, some racist Nazi type people, and yeah, the story is pretty good. The action is so kinetic because Daniel Warren Johnson does what Daniel Warren Johnson does best. So this is amazing. And then I thought that this would be, and these are like 3 stories. I thought that that's it, that's all we get. But when I looked at the second story by James Herron, I was blown away even further. Like, his story is also pretty good, right? So the first story is the Daniel Warren Johnson one, and the second one is just again Batman fighting some bad guys. But then his artwork is so stellar, is so amazing that I liked even the second story. I guess equally as good as the first story, I would say. So because again, James Herron, these guys can probably do a solo Batman book by themselves. They're capable of it, but I'm glad that at least we got this annual, because again, this is kinetic, this is bombastic, this is action-packed, this is everything you want in a Batman comic book, in an absolute Batman comic book. So that's the first book you got. Then from DC KO tie-in, you have Night Fight. So Batman basically in the first DC KO book kind of sort of dies, but he's not really dead. He's prepared for every eventuality. So he uses his thingamajiggy and MacGuffins to save himself because he's the smartest man on the planet Earth. And basically when he does that, then he is transported to a new dimension, a different dimension, a different kind of Earth, right? And this is by Joshua Williamson and Dan Mora. Dan Mora, the best artist in comic books as of now. And then yeah, so the idea is like, so he dies in DCKO issue 1. This is not a spoiler, they're already covered in issue 1. And then he explodes. He becomes like this a rock kind of statue, and then he explodes. And then basically comes to this, reborn into this new world, which he thinks is his Gotham, but there is a catch. It's something different. He encounters other Batman and so on and so forth. And what happens is he fights all his Robins basically. So that's what DC Night Fight explores. Again, I bought this for the Dan Mora art, and I've heard that from a tie-in perspective, this is equally good. This is really brilliant as a book because again, Josh Williamson he can't do no wrong anymore at DC. So yeah, so that's Joshua Williamson and Dan Mora Night Fight. Next we've got Absolute Superman issue number 13, The War for Smallville, because the Lazarus Corporation has decided to attack Smallville. They're sending in tanks and they're sending in their militia, and then the good people of Smallville, they've got their air rifles and whatnot, and they want to defend, but they've got Superman on their side. So this is an all guns blazing, all out action Superman. All the Absolute titles are brilliant, but this one is special. This is by Jason Aaron and Rafa Sandoval. I guess, is Sandoval doing the artwork? Yeah, he's back on the art, so that's amazing. So, and an absolute cracking absolute title. If you like So Superman has got his AI cape, so his sentient cape, and he has to use his sentient cape, his power gauntlets, and his super strength to protect Smallville in an all-out war. And of course, he's got Lois Lane and Jimmy Olsen as well, so there's that. But that's Absolute Superman issue number 13. All right, the next one we've got is Superman, the Kryptonite Spectrum. So this is from W. Maxwell Prince and Martin Madrazo, who are basically the creators of Ice Cream Man. So in the premise of this book is like Superman has found these different kind of kryptonites, like there's a rainbow kryptonite, there's a cobalt kryptonite, and he wants to try all of those kryptonites on himself before just as use himself as a guinea pig and see like what happens to him. And then Batman is helping him. So Batman is basically doing all these tests on him and exposing him to all these different kryptonites and seeing like what happens to him in a controlled fashion. But obviously, because this is comics, nothing is controlled, everything gets out of control, and Dr. Fate is here for some reason. So yeah, so again, that's the whole story. And yeah, it's I think this is the penultimate issue for this. There are like I think five issues of this. This has been a kinetic run. This has been really interesting to see a character like Superman done by W. Maxwell Prince and Martin Morazzo, whose style is very horror adjacent, because Ice Cream Man is horror adjacent. But this one has Mxyzptlk, and he comes to ask for Superman's aid because there's something wrong in the fifth dimension. So there you go. So continuing that story, I've really enjoyed this. The art style is so peculiar, but it still suits Superman. And yeah, this is an amazing book. Check it out. Okay, let's do Titan Comics next. Titan Comics, of course, is basically the Savage Sword of Conan. So we've got two books. So this one, I'm glad like I got like a complete complete bare foil variant cover. So this is art by Rob Delatorre, and yeah, and this is a Heroic Signatures Savage Sword of Conan book. So continuing adventures of Savage Sword of Conan, Mr. Jim Zub. This one is Conan Scourge of the Serpent. So this one is not the regular Conan series, but this is like an event book. So in the Conan series. So as explained here, you've got the main Conan books. Then you've got the Battle of the Black Stone, which was a event book, wherein what Jim Zub is doing is bringing in a lot of these Howardverse characters together with Conan and telling a new story altogether. So this is the first event, but then this one is the second issue of the second event, which is called The Scourge of the Serpent, and it deals with Set, who's basically the main bad guy. And on the other hand, you've got the Solomon Kane book, and you've got all these Savage Sword of Conan books, which are more darker, which are more grittier, which are black and white, but they are like magazine sized, but much bigger than the single issue or a trade paperback. But you get the bang for your buck, because for $6 you get like 80 pages of gorgeous art and violence and nudity and blood and guts and everything you want from a Conan book. So that's Conan Scourge of Serpent and the Savage Sword of Conan, the variant, the Virgin variant. All right, let's do Dark Horse, because we've got a couple of Dark Horse books. So this one is called American Caper. So this is written by Dan Houser, and who basically worked on the Grand Theft Auto video games. So he worked on GTA 5, GTA 6, GTA Vice City, my favorite, along with his brother Sam Houser. And Laszlo is also there. So Laszlo was a DJ in GTA Vice City. He was the DJ for the radio station B-Rock. So they've teamed up along with David Lapham, Lee Loridge, I don't know, Chris Anderson and Nate Picos, but to create this comic book, which is like basically kind of like a take on a GTA kind of a world, but in like a comic book format. So yeah, so the art is pretty good, but yeah, they've got all these like twisted characters similar to what they have in the games. But I guess in a comic format, they can just do and tell whatever. So I guess this is pretty gonzo. The art looks very nice. Art looks very David Lapham, like it reminds me of Stray Bullets. It's that kind of art. But yeah, even the stories and the characters, I've heard from the people who've read this that it's pretty good. It's pretty awesome. So yeah. So again, I bought it for Dan Houser, Laszlo, David Lapham, and and GTA, man. And yeah, we never know when we're getting GTA 6, because that might be a millennia away. But then at least you have this till that time to entertain you. So that's about it. That's American Caper for you. Okay, The next one is Robo Wolf by Jake Smith. So this is Jake Smith, who also did the Godzilla book for Dark Horse, and this is his another next project, solo book, creator-owned series about a human hybrid robot whose like daughter gets kidnapped, and then he has to go and save her. And his art style is so peculiar and so bombastic, that's the reason why I bought this. Not a lot of people are on this book, but if you can check it out, this is really good stuff. This is really amazing stuff by Jake Smith in terms of RoboWolf. So his storytelling, again, he does the art, he does the writer, he's a writer artist, the combination. There's so many those guys. Like we just talked about, like James Herron and Daniel Warren Johnson. Jake Smith is another one of those guys who probably can, who does all these bombastic, metal type comic books, and they're really awesome. So check out RoboWolf. And the last one from Dark Horse is Nemesis Forever by Mark Miller. This one is again evil Batman, evil Batman basically, who wants to basically rule over the world, take over the world. And this story is pretty good. It's about this secret agent who is sent into the organization of Nemesis, or our evil Batman, and she's an undercover agent for the FBI. And what she does is she pretends to be this demolitions expert who has only one eye. So she goes under surgery and removes her eye just so that she could play the part. So she on purpose gets an eye removed surgically so that she can pretend to be this other demolitions expert agent just to infiltrate the Nemesis organization. So that's how that's how much she hates Nemesis. And so so it's about her. So she's like one of the main protagonists. You can see her, but at the same time it's also about Nemesis, who has plans on world domination, and he's got his own evil plans, and he's always like doing something evil, messing up or trying to fight with the government. And in this issue he kidnaps a bunch of kids, and in Germany, and then the German Polizei are coming for him, and he has to escape, and that's what the issue is about. So the action is kinetic on this. This is Matteo Scalera art. He's collaborated with Mark Miller many times before, and this character, for some reason, I don't know why he resonates with me. And the book is super action packed. It's like a 90s action movie. So there's one thing after the other. Look at this. He jumps onto the helicopter, and then he shoots everybody through the thing, and then people die, and then the whole thing crashes. It's explosions, it's chopper backup, it's police, it's evil Batman. It's an amazing book. If you've not check out Nemesis Forever. It's really good. Okay, so we're done with Dark Horse. Then we come to the best comic publisher out there, other than DC, of course, is Image Comics. So with Image Comics, we have Youngblood #1. This is a cover by Daniel Warren Johnson. And this is Rob Liefeld trying to relaunch the Youngblood series. So I had the first Youngblood way back in the 90s when it came out. I think I had the second printing of the first issue. So I think I still own it back home. But then this one is a retelling. It's not a retelling, it's a new story altogether. I thought it's going to be just a reprint, but it's not. It's a brand new story featuring Badrock and Shaft and Chapel and Vogue and Die Hard. And this is Rob Liefeld's creation from the 90s. Again, people have polarizing opinions on Rob Liefeld. I am like I was also like a Rob Liefeld hater, but I warmed up to him. I think he's got a lot of talent. A couple of my friends think that this is all toilet paper. It's like really bad. Liefeld can't draw and all. I am not an extremist. I do give people chances. I really enjoyed Rob Liefeld's Hawk and Dove from the New 52 DC series. So I'm curious to give this a shot. I'm okay. Yeah, he can draw legs and stuff. Yeah, fair enough. That doesn't bother me, as long as the story is good and exciting and engaging. So, and I recently read Local Man by Tim Seeley and Tony Fleeces, and that had a lot of like the 90s superhero action depicted in this. So I wanted some 90s goodness, man. So that's why I bought the first issue. If it's good, I'll try to continue this. But then, I wanted to at least give the first issue a shot. So this is Rob Liefeld's Youngblood. 90s goodness out there. Okay, next one is Jimmy Palmiotti and who is on the art? Dudu Paniska. So this is Deadly Tales of the Gunslinger Spawn. So this is a Western tale about Gunslinger Spawn. When he originally becomes Gunslinger Spawn during the Wild Wild West, he teams up with this Native Indian woman and the First Nations lady, and then he is hunting down this guy who basically killed her entire tribe. So yeah, that's the whole story, and that's where we are in the plot. And the artwork is amazing on this. And this was supposed to be like a just a mini 4-issue series, but then I think the sales were so good on this because of Jimmy Palmiotti that they made it like into a recurring series. And this is probably one of the best Spawn books out there. Like, you know, it has nothing to do with the Spawn lore. You can just read it as a as an independent issue. But again, Jimmy Palmiotti was on the Near Mint Condition stream, and he told me that they have big plans for this going further. So I own all issues of it. I never thought I would buy all issues of something called as Deadly Tales of the Gunslinger, but it's been amazing. It's like one of the best Western books out there. And yeah, Jim Palmiotti has done Jonah Hex and a couple of other things, so he knows how to write good Western stories, and this is what that is, along with some supernatural horror thrown in. So yeah, what's not to like? Deadly Tales of the Gunslinger. It's a really good book. It's a bang for your buck, man. Go read it. All right. Next, we have the Energon Universe, Void Rivals. And this is issue 24. Void Rivals is one of the strongest books out there, like in terms of the Energon Universe thingy. So it's about these two factions, Agorians and Zertonians, who are fighting each other. And, you know, they're separated by this whole black hole, which is why they are separated by a void. That's why they are void rivals, because they hate each other and they're separated by a void. So, and some Transformers thrown in. This has been a really good soap opera, space opera book with some G.I. Joe and Transformer characters thrown in. So again, this is continuing that lore. Issue 24, man, this is really good. This is really strong. Connor Hughes is doing the art on this one. Kirkman obviously has done all the issues, but the artists keep on changing. But yeah, usually it's Lorenzo De Felici who's the main guy who's doing all the art, but Connor Hughes is, I think, the backup artist. So again, I'm excited to check this out. Reading Void Rivals has been a blast. Another thing that's been a blast is G.I. Joe, Real American Hero. So this is the Mark Spears Cobra Commander variant. So, you know, I had to go for Cobra Commander because Mr. Commander is one of my favorite characters across the entire G.I. Joe lore, and I can't resist his covers. So, you know, you put Cobra Commander on a cover and I'll just buy it. But this is a Mark Spears cover, and it's a Cobra Commander variant, and it's the Dreadnought War begins. So it's a new story arc. So I guess you can jump into this, you know. So who are the Dreadnoughts? So the Dreadnoughts are these bunch of like hillbilly people who are led by this guy called Zartan. And so they have Buzzard, they have Ripper, they have Zartan, they have Zorana, they have Torch. And yeah, so they've got these bunch of people who are like, so they dress up like these biker hillbilly type people, but they are like a formidable foe for the Joes and for Cobra too. And they usually side with Cobra, but Zartan has his own agenda, right? He's an individual contributor. He has his own goals, and the Dreadnoughts basically follow him. So I don't know what it means by the Dreadnought Wars, but I'm uber curious to check this out because it is going to be bombastic. It is Joshua Williamson and Tom Riley on the art. So yeah, anything with Cobra Commander and the Dreadnoughts thrown in is really good. So I had all these action figures. I don't know, for some reason the Zarana action figure was my favorite one of all of these Dreadnoughts. She came in with this gun which had like a buzzsaw thing at the end, and she used that, so that was pretty cool to me. So yeah, so Biker Chick, Zarana, and you know, and Buzzer and Ripper and Blowtorch, all of these guys, and they fought Cobra Commander before once in the Cobra series. So I guess, you know, they're fighting him again. Because when Cobra Commander first originally appeared in his own solo title before the G.I. Joe series kicked off, he fights the Dreadnoughts and he meets them. So yeah, so this is going to be awesome. It's part 1 of 5. So yes, the third arc of G.I. Joe been really strong title for me. So yeah, 13 issues in. I'm loving it. I'm loving all of it. Okay, the last single issue book or from our image book is Rook Exodus. Rook Exodus is an amazing title by Mr. Jeff Johns and Jason Fabok. It's about this other planet which is basically terraformed, and these bunch of people who are employed there as workers travel from Earth to that planet, and some of them are like the sentinels of that planet, so they're the saviors of that planet. They are rooks of that planet, and what they get is like these special helmets by which they get control of one particular animal type. So our hero Rook, he controls like rooks, basically crows, and then there are other things. So this is Direwolf, he controls the wolves, and so on and so forth. You get the idea. And basically what has happened is now this planet, the world engine that is running this planet, is kind of destroyed, and they're trying to get away from that planet. They're trying to fix the world engine. The first arc deals with them trying to leave the planet, but then in the end they come to a conclusion that they probably have to save the planet, and then this is them basically saving the planet, and and trying to do and trying to fix the world engine. So that's where the story is at. So it's been awesome. Again, Jason Fabok, one of the best artists out there, he's doing his own thing now with Ghost Machine. So, and this is probably the strongest titles Ghost Machine has to offer. The book went for a hiatus for almost 6 months, but now it's back, and now it's continuous, it's consistent. So yeah, so this I'm super this has been enjoyable read for me. Every time I read this book, like, I come out smiling, and my faith in comics is restored. So I urge you to check this out. I think there is a hardcover for the first 6 issues, which is launched now. So yeah, whatever format you prefer. If you like the trade, I think there's a trade out. If you like the single issues, collect all of them. I think this has been a blast to read. So Rook Exodus is, again, look at that. Looks like a Swamp Thing kind of a monster, and Direwolf and Rook Exodus have to face. So it's amazing. It's awesome. It's bombastic. That's the way the comics should be. And that's completes my singles pile of comic books from this week. Okay, I'll quickly do the speed run through the collected editions I got. So the first one is this V for Vendetta compact comic. So I have never read the V for Vendetta the comic. I had the hardcover back home, but I never got a chance to read it. So now they're doing a TV series of it. I really like the movie with Hugo Weaving in it. Remember the 5th of November, but I've never read the book. So I bought this compact book, and I was like, okay, fair enough, I'll read it during my lunch break or something. So yeah, this is V for Vendetta, Alan Moore, David Lloyd, yeah, Guy Fawkes mask, and action packed. And hopefully, a lot of people who have read the book said that the movie is completely different from it, and the book offers a lot of perspective. I have never read the book, so yeah, really excited to read this. So there you go. So that's the first thing. Then this one is Aliens versus Predator Omnibus. So I didn't get this. This is from my buddy's collection. But after I read Predator Badlands, and I was really in the mood for some Predator, and this one, this particular story, Alien versus Predator, this is a Dark Horse Omni, which is not out of print, largely out of print. You won't find it anywhere. I asked Omar if this is going to be ever collected into like a omnibus. At some point they will, because the Predator movie is now a hit, so they want to sell Predator products to people. But this one features Machiko Noguchi, who is the first human woman hybrid predator. So she's a human woman, but she's accepted inside the Yautja clan as one of their own. And this tells her story, and it is old school 90s Dark Horse art. This is why when Dark Horse was kicking ass and taking names in terms of Aliens versus Predator. But yeah, look at that gorgeous art, the xenomorph facing the Predator. So yeah, at some point of time we'll probably have an Aliens versus Predator movie too. So yeah, and a good movie too. So hopefully, yeah, waiting for that day. But until that, I'm gonna check this out. This is really good. So Aliens versus Predator Omnibus. Maybe I'll do a review of it too. Next, these were the presents that I got for my birthday. So this is Terrific's the complete collection. It's basically, what is this? Is basically Fantastic Four in the DC universe. So Mr. Terrific goes to kind of a negative zone, and then he finds all these allies. So you've got Plastic Man, you've got Rex Mason Metamorpho, and then they find this lady Phantom Girl who can basically phase shift and out. So kind of like your Fantastic Four team, and they are stuck in like sci-fi adventures, and then yeah, it's about their team and them figuring out. So the catch is that they cannot be, they visit the negative zone, they come out of the negative zone, but now they are bound together. So if they go or separate from each other, let's say more than a mile, then they explode. They cause like a nuclear explosion because they absorb some dark energy. So Mr. Terrific is trying to figure out, like, you know, how does he fix that? And that's basically what the story is all about. And yeah, there's a lot of science fiction here. So basically you have the negative zone in the Fantastic Four. Here you have the dark multiverse, so they go to the dark multiverse. The events take place during the time of Dark Knight's Metal, not Death Metal, the second arc, but the first arc. But I don't think you need to read that. Yeah, look, that's a celestial, very reminiscent of Galactus. But you know, it's like a, but it's in DC, so you know, it's different. And yeah, the creative team on this is amazing. So it's Stephen Segovia, Evan Doc Shaner, whose art is phenomenal, Jeff Lemire, and Jean Louis Yang from the writing section. So yeah. So and they get a secret message in the negative zone from this guy. If you don't know who he is, I'm not going to spoil it for you, but yeah, he's there, so he plays a big part. So again, cosmic level stuff, and you know, Mr. Terrific was amazing in the Superman movie. So if you want to check this out, then please do. How many issues does this have? I think it collects the first 30 issues. So this is like the thickest trade I've ever seen. Like, it's really big. The Terrific's the complete collection. So amazing read. All right, and last but not the least, I got an omnibus. So my uncle gifted me this omnibus. So this is Jason Aaron Wolverine omnibus by David Finch cover. So this happens before the Wolverine Goes to Hell arc, and the only thing I have read from this is the first story, which is basically done by Howard Chaykin. I guess this is just a mixed bag of Wolverine stories taken during the 2000s. And so this is the Decimation arc, Wolverine 62. So then during the Mutant Genesis arc, or I should say, not the Decimation arc, but the Mutant Genesis arc. So yeah, so it's got a mixed bag of things, but it's Jason Aaron, so I like everything Jason Aaron does. And yeah, these covers are awesome, man. All solid covers, right? So, and the artwork is amazing. So yeah, there are different people who do the art in this one. So I was like always like flabbergasted by these covers. Ron Garney is the main artist, and you've got Udon Studios doing art for this, and you've got David Gianfelice doing the art as well. So yeah, so Jason Aaron basically gives a story, like, you know, a background, like when he was picked up for Marvel Comics, there was like a talent show, a talent hunt for new writers, and he pitched in basically a comic about Wolverine helping an old lady cross the street, and that's how he got the Marvel gig. And he did a lot of stuff before he was put on Wolverine, but then Wolverine was one of his dream characters to work on. And yeah, this book is all Wolverine and Jason Aaron playing with him in amazing ways. So yeah, as you can see, not a lot of text, but more story, and more art. So yeah, really curious to check this out. I have never read this run before. I've read a lot of Wolverine, but then specifically not this part. And what got me is like some of these covers. So you've got this cover wherein you have Logan's claws, and then you've got this cover where you've got Deathlock's claws. So yeah, so there's a Deathlock arc, I'm guessing, and there is a Mystique arc, and that first Howard Chaykin issue was amazing, amazeballs. So yeah, that's the overall haul. I know it's a long video; it became very long, so should have split into two. But that's all I have. That's all I got. So you know, I haven't made a video in the last 2 weeks, so you get a super long video. So if you've stuck here till the end, I really thank you guys for sticking around. And if you have any questions on any of these books, then please let me know in the comments. And yeah, thank you for checking out the video, man. And yeah, take care of yourselves, and I will see you next week more consistently, as I said. All right, guys, take care, and thanks again.